name is Tubato Mamabulo. I am a learning development facilitator at the Academic Development Center. I am a director of APK Pageants. I'm a UNESCO O3 ambassador for South Africa, but most importantly, I am a proud product of the UJ Community Engagement Unit. Through their leadership and through their empowerment, I have managed to open my own organization that deals with youth empowerment and providing skills, tools, and the necessary information for them to flourish. I'm going to be your program director for today, and I'm really, really excited to be standing in front of you today. Happy Women's Month.
Welcome to our 2024 Women in Community Engagement Empowerment Program. As I stand here today and look at all the bright, beautiful, promising, energized, and I don't want to use the word tired, I want to say energized, because we have a generation of women here today. You've done incredible in your lives. And as I stand here and look at you, all I can say, wow. We are so honored to have you with us this morning. Having both men and women involved in decision-making broadens the perspective, it broadens how we look at things, increases creativity and innovation. It diversifies the pools of talents and competences, it reduces conflicts, and improves the process of decision-making. Just think about it. Look at the world right now. Who are our leaders in the world? Main leaders. And why do we have so much conflict? Just think about it. If we had women in decision-making positions, would we be where we are today? Men, I warned you that you are brave to be in this room today, because we will talk about those things and we will reflect upon them and we will emphasize why it is important and why we need women in decision-making. We believe in community engagement, we believe that the more we have women in decision-making positions, we will have better communities. Do you agree?
I think as Ms. Fiona indicated, we have speakers from different spaces, academia, business, community-based organizations. So we're really with women that are going to help us to probably, can I say, rebuild our vision. If it's a day for you to restart today from their talk, please take advantage of that, because it's never too late, right? This is a safe space, and it's a space for us to celebrate each other, to inspire each other, and keep shining. Thank you.
Thank you to UJ. Thank you to Community Empowerment for allowing me this opportunity. Knowing fully well that I've been actually at the Teddy Bear Foundation for Abused Children for 25 years. I'm beginning to look like a teddy bear myself. And it's been a journey of pain, heartbreak, trauma, but a lot of insight, growth, and character building, and empathy. So if we look at the 30 years of democracy, and I want to just speak to the fact that the historic march by more than 20,000 women or people to the Union buildings on the 9th of August 1956 against the extension of past laws by the apartheid regime was the turning point in the role of women in the struggle for freedom and our society at large. Women in community engagement programs in South Africa, if we look at the 30-year review, what is the role of women in community engagement? It means taking time to listen to people and having the flexibility to deal with potential conflicts, problems, challenges, and being creative in finding ways to address them. Since the advent of democracy in South Africa in 1994, the inclusion of women in community engagement programs has been a focal point of the country's social and political development. The end of apartheid marked a new era of possibility, but the journey towards inclusivity, that is genuine inclusivity and equity for women, has been fraught with significant challenges. This narrative explores the multifaceted challenges women have faced in community engagement programs over the past 30 years and assesses the progress made forging their inclusion.
Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
And I hope today, I will be able to change your mind about this problem. I mean, we are celebrating Women's Day, right? And we are celebrating particularly the women of 1956 who stood up and said, you know what, we are standing up against all these injustices in our community. And at that time, what they were fighting about was apartheid, right? We are fighting, we have a problem in our society, and corruption is that problem. And women can no longer just keep quiet. We have to sing together against corruption. So with that, greetings everyone again. I usually preach, so I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but as the program director has said, my name is Zakhona Mvelase, and I am the founding director of African Women Against Corruption Network, which is an independent anti-corruption think tank on a mission to advance the participation of women in the anti-corruption agenda in Africa. And how we do this really is we focus the lens on the impact of corruption on women and girls. So I thought with that, I'm not going to share slides, but I'm going to take you guys on a personal journey. And I'm going to take you guys on a personal journey of why I founded African Women Against Corruption Network, which is affectionately known as Awaken, by the way, and answer a very specific question that I always get. Every time, again, African Women Against Corruption Network, people always ask me, but why women, right? Why not everybody else? If the idea is that we are to solve the corruption problem in our continent, why women? And a very simple answer to that is always, why not women, right? But really, if I have to, because we are in an academic institution, so I have to go deeper and give a deeper answer that says, an empirical answer that says women are disproportionately affected by corruption in all angles. And for me, it has always seemed absurd that corruption is always seen as if it's a man's problem to solve, yet women are the ones that are the ones that are disproportionately affected. So it always seemed very, very absurd in that angle. So today, as I'm sharing you with this story of how Awaken really started, it really started from me just being preoccupied by the idea that why are women not in the anti-corruption space, and why are we leaving corruption to be a man's problem to solve?
Basically, my job is to make robots and systems speak and understand and interact with us with very, very particular focus in Sesotho, Setswana, and Sepedi. I'm trying to move inroads into other parts, but as a first language Sesotho speaker and a native Setswana speaker, this has been my interest for the past close to a decade now. Nonetheless, I'm also the director for the Institute for Intelligence Systems, and we are the ones that deal with the 4IR mandate of the university, partnering with industries, NPOs, the public sector, and anyone who is actually interested to work with us in that regard. I'm also a founder, I do a lot of things. I'm also a founder of Primus Tech, which is, account nog data strategy firm that is very, very small and boutique, and I'm also a founder of Mozo Technologies that deals with intelligent softwares. So that is me in a nutshell. So as we all know, South Africa is really, really known as one of those countries that are very, very resilient. We have overcome quite a lot, and we have been touched by a number of revolutions, right? But there seems to be this one revolution that has taken us for a loop. And unfortunately, it's one that cannot be ignored, right? And this is the digital revolution. And as we're sitting here, every time I talk to people about this 4IR revolution, what is this revolution, right? Our jobs getting lost. What does it mean for our mothers sitting in, we are in Gauteng, so in Gauteng we always talk about these teach areas, right? Township, informal settlements and hostels. What is this revolution? What does it look like for the global south? Because we really, really should be aware that we cannot take what the global north is doing. And for today, for the next 15 minutes, we're going to go through what these technologies are about and what does inclusion and diversity mean in the context of South Africa. These are the buzzwords that have been, thrown upon these technologies. So we have seen a massive drive in technology, and it has disrupted how we do business in our daily lives. Recently, I was at a workshop, and the first question I asked, it was a women's workshop, was, what is the most disruptive technology? And all the mothers in the rooms were saying WhatsApp and YouTube, right? WhatsApp and YouTube has disrupted how we even view family. We can be in the same house, but we talk via WhatsApp. In the same couch, and we talk via WhatsApp, right? But these technologies, as much as they've actually disrupted how we do business and our daily lives, they've also allowed us to break barriers. Right? I can be in my house in the west of Johannesburg and call an Uber for my grandmother to go to Baragwanath Hospital. This is what technology is doing for us. Right? Nonetheless, even with this breaking of barriers, we still suffer from digital inclusion and empowerment for women. And I always tell the story of M-Pesa. When M-Pesa came out of Kenya, before we had e-wallets and money, all this money wallets, M-Pesa became this pioneer that everyone in the world actually got caught up in the storm. This is one success story that came from Africa that was really, really duplicated everywhere, from Afghanistan to Kazakhstan, right? The global north was taken by a storm. And the story from M-Pesa was one thing, digital inclusion for everyone. How do we bank the unbanked without changing the normal way of life?
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to strip away the fact that I am a vice dean or an associate professor. And I thank you so much for that introduction when you were reading my biography. And I want to say that today I am here, just like every one of you, except for my male counterparts. But I am similar to my male counterparts in the fact that I am a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend. And that is who I am standing as in front of you today. So I come from the STEM side of things, so it's very academic. And what I wanted to do today is, even though I'm coming from the discipline of science, I'm actually here to tell you stories today. Stories of some very, very amazing characters in science, all of whom have been women, and who have played a role as to why I am in science today. So if we think about it, how many women pioneers in science do we actually know? If I say Stephen Hawking, everybody knows who Stephen Hawking is, right? If I say Elon Musk, yay, everybody knows who Elon Musk is. But how many of the women that I've shown over here do we actually know? None, especially if you're not in science, right? And yet these women have been incredible in actually discovering things that we know of today. For example, we have Rosalind Franklin, who assisted in the determination of the structure of DNA, which is our blueprint. We have Beatrice Schilling, who was an engineer, and she actually designed the engine that went into World War II fighter planes. We have Dorothy Hodgkin, who's responsible for discovering insulin. All our diabetics today need insulin. She's the one who discovered this molecule. We have Wally Funk, who was a pilot who trained to be an astronaut and sadly never got to go into space. But I really like what she says over there, where she says, nothing has ever gotten in my way. They say, Wally, you're a girl, you can't do that. I said, guess what? Doesn't matter what you are. You can still do it if you want to do it. And I like to do things that nobody's ever done before.
I'm encouraged because as women, I think we should get to a point where we actually complement each other instead of competition. And I must say, you, Jay, you've actually laid a role for us as women to engage, to also involve youth. And I'm excited that we've got a great number of youth here because most of them, they don't want to be in the farming space, and farming is cool. So I'm excited that they're here. And the openness to sit today and talk as women and be free and to share. What you've just shared has built us. That, you know, in creating your brand, there's stuff that we always leave out, the challenges that we go through as women. There are serious challenges as women that we go through. And I'm happy that today we are sitting here, we are here as women to support each other. I call it abotokas.
But thank you so much for honoring us. As we sat and planned, we really were hoping for this. And I want to come to our speakers. As we sat and planned, we wanted to come to this. And as a team, sometimes I call them a dream team, which is always, well done. Well done. And everyone, well done. And the youth that gets referred to is our volunteers. It's our volunteers. The committed ones, you know, the ones that come out and do our outreach programs. So it's our volunteers. Very proud of them. We must keep on going. So if I were to go through this booklet of mine, it will be like that list where I must all call you all by name. And I'm not going to do that. But with that, I hope there are so many takeaways. There are so many lessons, and we will do better. And our communities are here. Are here. Did you know Kofifi Radio is in here? It is. So we are doing great. We are about communities. And with that, I think I have been tasked with a very important task to say thank you. And I hope you have gained as you thought you would.